And we'll laugh.
Welcome back here, folks. It's been a long time, but finally we're back here up on the corner, and we have my faithful partner in crime here, Troy Tortuga Trostrup, joining us. Hello, Trostrup.
Hello, I feel very refreshed from a little close to 3 weeks of vacation, I think, in Germany. So I am back. I don't know about you, but I am back with a vengeance now.
Yeah, I'm not back with a vengeance. I'm like more
Nah,
back
me
with like
neither.
a
That's just an expression. Yeah, no, like
a calmness in the heart. I mean, like like so much shit has like happened the last week.
oh
For
yeah.
instance,
But that's so much better than what I said. Just scratch what I said.
okay, like I had my sister visit and like my brother-in-law and nephew and shit, right? And like
Yeah, I think I heard about him. Yeah.
I don't understand like this lifestyle because they come here and like the first day they spend like I and like I'm just ballparking it here, but something like 200 150 euros on a fucking 1 day's dinner, and this is from groceries bought at the local grocery store. And you might like ask,
Oh.
how the fuck do you spend 170, $180 on a motherfucking dinner, right? Uh, and like,
Yeah. For
well,
for 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 one dinner for three people or how many people?
for four people.
Four people.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but
that's yeah.
you might like wonder like how can that be done? And like let me tell you how that can be done. It can be done by that, some mofos suddenly deciding to go to like one of the finer grocery stores, and they say that, yeah, we're gonna buy a shit ton of meat and have like a cookout.
Mm.
And then, but still, that doesn't even cover half of it. Like on top of that, you also need like a couple of bottles to add up to, like $60 of wine, also, right? Um,
Yeah.
and then you land on that, like, so this wasn't my problem. The problem comes, the food was fine, by the way, but like, could have got more for half that by going on a restaurant, in my opinion, but whatever. Um, the problem
by going
comes,
by going in a restaurant.
yeah,
What
yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
because
but
I just talked with my brother about this tonight. Like when you go to a restaurant, you don't just pay for the groceries and the ingredients. You pay for both the people that shop for the ingredients. You pay for the preparation, the
yeah,
chefs.
yeah, yeah,
You pay for
I
the
know.
serving. You pay for the ambiance. There's like at least four or
All
five
of
factors that you pay for when you go to a restaurant. So naturally, restaurant meals should be higher. That's natural.
of course, but
Yeah.
like still, I'm like saying it would have cost less because
Yeah,
let me
and
just like
that's a really very weird point, actually. Yeah,
yeah, it is, but
yeah,
it's true, right?
yeah.
Let me now see now like how much we're like talking in dollars, DKK to USD, and it was like the bill was like 1,200 DKK,
Yeah.
and that's 190 American dollars, 191 American dollars, which is a shitload. And I'm like saying
For a
that,
dinner that they home cooked themselves.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
and yeah, yeah, and it's a way it's preposterous, completely preposterous. Like
Yeah.
you don't even spend this much on cooking a dinner in freaking Norway for four people. Yeah, so it's like $191, and no, it doesn't even cost that much in Norway to make dinner for four persons. But we're talking about a select group of people here, right?
No.
That is like like wanting to burn as much money as they can, like, but and it's like none of this is my problem, like my problem comes like later in the evening while because like I'm pointing this out and like saying like, dear brother-in-law, is it really necessary to spend $190 on evening's dinner, right? And
Yeah.
his answer is, ha, 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 I do this every day, because do you know how much money I earn, pet?
Yeah, and if I may interject my opinion on this at this point here, I think I know why they do this, because this is something that I've been thinking a lot about, and that I also observe ever since I started meditating. I actually realize it much more, that people are obsessed with status. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah, they are.
it's not actually money. It is they use the money to buy themselves status. They don't just buy stuff they need. They fucking buy all this crap that gives them, what is perceived as respect and admiration, but it's really just status. It's really just like this like, in my opinion, it's really just this empty thing that is not physically there. It's a very abstract thing, actually, and
Yeah,
it's weird. It's
yeah.
weird because it's
I
very
also,
unnatural. Yeah.
I also think it's weird, but but more so, I believe that like I know, and you would, I know that you would never, no matter how much money you earned, Troy, you would never fucking brag about it.
No. Fuck
I
no.
don't think so. Like,
No, no,
and
no.
like,
But
and I
that's because I'm a person who, like, I'm content with what I have, and I don't want more than that. And
no,
but
but like
so
even
in a way, like, I'm probably as far away from your brother-in-law or your family
yeah,
as you can be, because, like,
even
First of all,
even
I don't even want more, and second of all, I don't need the status. I don't need this feeling that, yeah, I am above you all.
yeah, exactly,
That feeling does not fulfill me in any way.
and I also don't think that like, even if you wanted more and you had like a successful company or something, right? I still don't believe that that you would have gone out and been like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that motherfucking DB7 Austin Martin, and I'm gonna buy a 400 square meter house in Orhus Center, to show everybody what a big motherfucking dick I got.
No, exactly,
I,
and that's because that's the second perimeter there, which is the what should we call it? Like, the pursuit of that status feeling, like the feeling you get from having accomplished a certain status. That is
yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
very good described in this needs pyramid by Marshall, where we have, like, the bottom layers. We have the basic human needs, which is food and shelter and sex as well. That's actually in the bottom,
I know it.
and
Yeah,
then it goes up, and then at the very top we have the need that is what our society, the Western society, is very acclimated towards, is that very top layer of the pyramid, and that's where society says you have to achieve this, otherwise you're a failure. Joe Rogan talks about this
uh,
too as well.
uh, and
Yeah.
I don't fucking comprehend it at all, man.
No,
Like,
exactly.
uh, and they were borrowing the house, they were sleeping here, like, and they asked if something they could help with, and I, like, I had some simple fucking requests, which was, like, help me trim the hedge and fix that damn wall on the porch that you guys destroyed the last time you were here 3 years ago. And then, like,
Yeah.
both of which like would have like taken them a couple of hours, like, to fix. And like, I would have gone with, of course, and like, like, purchased the paint or whatever, like, to paint the wall and shit. But
Mm.
did any of like these simple tasks happen while they were here? Of course not. because it was
No.
way more important to make that $190 dinner and drink 6 bottles of wine and shit, right? Um,
Yeah, exactly. I just pulled up the,
yeah,
the needs here for you guys so that you can follow it as well if you're watching it.
yeah,
Should we no? Should we make it audio only? Nah, we can upload
no,
this to
we can
YouTube.
put it in. We can put it in. We can put it
Yeah,
in
yeah.
YouTube.
So yeah, this is like
Uh,
we have the psychological needs, which is like
uh,
the bottom half. Then we have the safety needs, which of
yeah,
course, and belongingness and love needs, esteem needs, like feeling of accomplishment. And then we have this top layer, self-actualization. So, like, actually, what I think is I'm like in the fourth layer. Like the fourth layer is maybe not even the fourth layer. Maybe even like I'm just shy of the fourth layer. So like I need belongingness and love needs, and that's pretty much it. That's what I'm satisfied with basically.
so,
But that's not what society, our Western society wants. Our Western society wants to push us towards being great and being, as
uh,
to put it in Terence Fletcher's words in Whiplash. If imagine if Joe Jones hadn't thrown a cymbal at Charlie Parker's head, then there would have been no bird. And what a tragedy that would have been, because the world needs these fucking fappers who are at the top of their fields, and the world needs 7 billion top fappers.
like the thing
I
is,
mean,
the thing is that it's becoming increasingly difficult to reach these positions and levels in the world because it's becoming more and more competition, it's becoming more and more people, and it's becoming less jobs due to automation and so on and so on, right?
but also I was being ironic. I mean,
Yeah,
my point is, you can't have 7 billion people who are up in the
yeah, of
top
course,
layer of this pyramid. That is a
of
utopia.
course, of course, of course.
It's an
So,
absolute utopia.
so like here we have. So, anyways, I'm going to continue the story, and then the next day, like we're going go-karting somewhere up country, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, hey Pat, why don't you pay? Why don't you foot the bill, huh? Because we paid for dinner last night, and that was $190. So why don't you pay this? Which was like something outrageous, like $160 for 30 minutes of go-karting for 3 people, 1,000 Danish.
No.
Like, and this is where the fuck, like I'm like falling off, because like I'm like thinking that I didn't ask for this, right? I didn't ask for the $190 whatever the fuck steak dinner, right?
No, of course not. That
And
is
then
like it's pretty self-obsessed.
yeah,
It's even worse than being a status fapper, in my opinion, because like by saying, hey, can't you pay these 190, that's kind of like they try to drag you with them in a way.
yeah, in a way, right?
Because it's kind of like they open up this battle method, like this battlefield where they want you to participate, because through defeating you, they can when they win in that battle, then they will get more status, they will get more respect, and it becomes like a greed almost.
Yeah, I like, and I have no clue where all this comes from, man, because I'm thinking, like, no way, man, like I said, like, no way that I would have acted like this. And if it was me and I had this fucking obsession of like, like having to spend this much money on fucking food, booze, and wine and stuff, then I would have said, fine, then that's on my cape, right?
No.
That's on my motherfucking cape to pay for, and not yours. So like, like I was like starting to think like, are they making me pay because like they're starting to run low or what?
Nah,
I don't know.
I don't think that. Like I think it's
Nah,
this. I think it's this. They're trying to set up the battlefield, basically,
no, no.
a psychological mind battlefield where
I,
the winner is the one who gets away with all the status. I mean, in a way, I kind of feel it with my brother as well, because like they are also starting to earn a lot of money and buying much more expensive things. Probably not in the same, still not in the same range as, or at the same level as your brother-in-law, but kind of like in that direction at least.
yeah, but
And then like you can kind of feel that when like my brother bought a coat for 2,000 kroners. That was like what's that in $150, a coat for $150 because that looked good on him,
yeah, but that can still be like a thoughtful investment because like maybe he can
Well,
use
yeah,
that code for 10 years,
yeah, and of
right?
course it is like it also serves a function, like
Yeah, it serves a function.
as opposed to like a lot of objects that are just known as. Oh, this is actually another thing I read up on, a positional good. You know what that is?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
It's an object when an object is only valued by it not being possessed by others, so that
Yeah,
if some other people do not want that, then the positional good loses its value. For instance, like the Mona Lisa painting.
of course,
If you have it, that's just because a lot of other people also want it. That it is
of
so
course.
valuable.
It is the demand that decides the value always
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for any product.
And that's
But like still, man, like I still don't fucking get this status chasing thing because they also recently purchased that pool for like $3,000-4,000, to have outside. Then they also purchased like a $10,000 motorboat like a couple of years ago that broke, so that's just been sitting in their yard broken for the last 2 years. Then they bought that $700,000 house, maxed out their loans on that.
wow,
Um,
wow. Oh
so
my god.
like I don't know, man. And like my life partner also said that she noticed when we were down in Flekkgård last summer or the summer before that they both overdrew their cars onto credit. And why
Wow.
would you know
So
why?
they're actually on the like on the verge of bankruptcy, or not bankruptcy, but they're actually going into debt. They're going into
living
debt actually.
living living in that edgy gray zone, yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
like bragging about having this 90K plus salary a year, bragging about getting like some 10K bonus a year or something, right? But like my life partner said to me, like, what the fuck does that matter if you're broke in the end of the month, anyways?
Yeah,
Right?
like one thing is for sure. There's got to be a very severe case here of like some other social relationships where they see an opportunity to score, like to score respect. Like there must be some people they want to impress with us, otherwise they would not be doing it.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking it's the wrong way to impress
Yeah, yeah,
people,
yeah. That may be, but
right?
there must be. I mean, there's a reason for everything in this world. So like, there must be some people that they want to impress with it, and they may just like do it in this fucked up way.
Yeah,
Due
yeah, yeah,
to,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know their background or anything, but
Uh,
like, it must.
no,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
you're completely right, and you're also completely right in the battle thing because it just occurred to me that after like we pulled all the fucking gravel and work and stones and stuff out of the yard, and we laid, like you haven't been here to visit yet, but then we laid a grass lawn in our yard instead of this cemetery park thing that was there before, right?
Yeah.
and we took a picture and sent it to them, right? Then a couple of days later, maybe a week later, we received some pictures back from my sister where they have like now put fucking 2,000 kroners worth of Philips Hue lights in at the end at the bottom of the trees in their yard. They have put the fucking koi fish pond into their yard.
What's a koi fish point? No pond. Now I'm actually pretty
Just
interested.
just Google a pond with koi fish. Koi fish is fish that costs around $150 to $200 a fish, and then it just essentially looks fucking cool with like running water and shit. But it's essentially expensive. It's expensive AF, right?
Yeah, I see some pictures of it here. It like looks pretty diverse as well with the fish in it.
So why? And this is only for status because like I know, and my life partner knows that they're not going to maintain this. It's going to rot down. Fish is going to die, and just like the boat that they bought that I told you about that is sitting there rotting.
Right. Wow. I mean, that's just also like, that's just overdoing it. I mean, they must have some sort of delusions of grandeur because I mean, they can't even begin to handle all the stuff that they buy in a way. So that there must be something wrong with their sense of reality.
I think so. I think so too, man. Like, and the excuse, like, like I have like on multiple occasions called them for motherfucking Americans.
If this was America, there would be people who would be suggesting counseling for these people. I mean, like,
yeah, but I think this is probably a way more common thing in America than in our countries.
With counseling, you mean?
No, with the overexpenditure and status chasing and all that shit.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like America is a prime example for status chasing.
Yeah. So they would fit. So I like multiple times, like said on occasion, said that you guys would fit right in some suburban neighborhood in America.
But
right?
But I gotta say also, like, Denmark is and also Norway. I think Norway is even worse. Like we're if not a close second, we're up there as well with the status chasing because we have so many of our needs already satisfied already. So that
like I can guarantee you, man, that if I ever run some fucking successful company or I earn bank out of the Bering Strait, you'll not see me driving a fucking fancy car. You're gonna see me driving some fucking 1980 Mazda, beat down Mazda.
Right? Yeah, but I mean, actually, that is my plan as well. Like you know what car I'm planning to drive?
I was like thinking about like the car that Saul Goodman drives.
Not that beaten down. My plan is to buy the Volvo that Walter drives at the end of Breaking Bad. The old, not the one from Gus Fring, because that's too huge for me, and also probably too expensive. But the one that Walter drives at the end, I can't remember what the name is.
No. The car that Fring drives is actually cheap. He drives an old Volvo as well.
Yeah, maybe that's the next tier. But first, like the first car I want is going to be the Volvo from Walter White at the end there. Yeah. And this is actually, if I may direct our attention to Breaking Bad for just a few moments, this is interesting. Actually, and that's something I never noticed before, like before the fourth or fifth rewatch of the show, that he actually he wises up at the end, because he drives that heavy ass, what is it, the Chrysler, for most of season
Yeah,
5, like
yeah.
just being a fucking dumbass
Oh
basically.
man, oh
And
man.
and if you notice, at the end he actually turns into Gus Fring. He actually becomes as wise as Gus Fring, and that is shown by him buying a Volvo just like Gus Fring.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Uh,
actually that's really interesting that he buys the same car, or the same type of car that Fring has during season 2 to 4.
it reminds me of that pill guy in Better Call Saul that Mike is the bodyguard for, right? And then as soon as
Oh
some deal
yeah,
goes
yeah,
through and stuff, like the first thing that he does is buying some huge
yeah.
fucking Hummer with spinners on it
Oh
and
man,
flame paint on
there you can't
it.
anything but quote Mike Ehrmantraut here. This job requires constraint. That car is the opposite of constraint.
Yeah, because the car is a neon sign stating, "Hey, hello, look at me, I'm a drug dealer."
But also that quote from Mike there, that sums up everything that Gustavo Frings and everything his own life is about, which is
Yeah,
constraint. Because like when you are, not just when you're a rich drug dealer and on the wrong side of the law, but in any rich position, like in any position where you like have a lot of money or where you have a lot of power, the smart thing to do is constraint, is to like hide your success, because
yeah,
the minute you put your success into the spotlight, that's when things really start to, that's when you get enemies, and that's when you can get that's basically when you can get attacked, and when you can get vulnerable.
yeah,
So
for sure. So no, like, yeah, I would say like show constraint in any way, right? And never
yeah,
fucking buy a huge car or a huge Hummer with spinners.
I mean,
Um,
it's often like in popular culture, it's often disguised with people saying, "You gotta be humble, like show humility," but it's really just a smart tactical move as well. It's not just be kind and show humility. It's actually smart tactically
yeah.
in your life and in your business and
Yeah,
in
yeah. It is like, to like, like always be lightly packed, right? Don't pack fucking heavy like that all the time. And
yeah.
and like you see, like when you don't show constraint, like my family here, like fucking going in mine, that shouldn't even be possible. Like if you have over 120, $130,000 combined in income a year, you shouldn't be fucking going in zero a month. Then you're doing something wrong.
No,
Then you're
no.
doing something. Then you're doing something completely wrong.
And it is
Um,
going to explode or implode, or what? No, what do you say? No,
yeah,
at
yeah. It
some
is. It
point.
is. At some
Um,
point, and like, like I like tried to get this through, like because he invests in equity funds, right? And I try to explain him how the financial markets work and stuff, but he's like, "Oh, what the fuck does that matter? I'm earning 30% a year." Where
earning 30% of what?
earning 30% profits a year on some equity funds, but so like he was like shoving a bunch of money in there and selling it to use it and then investing again, right? But what I try to explain is that the global financial market is not going to stay that is never staying that, like, okay, like, back up a little bit. For instance, there is no companies that has ever beaten Wall Street, the indexes, right?
No, no.
Right, because like, to like take an example, you have some people saying, "Oh man, if only I had invested $1 million in Apple in 1980 or 1970, right?
Hmm.
Then I would be like a cajillionaire today." Uh, but like, here's the news. Here's a fact, right? Let's say that you had $1 million and you don't put them in Apple today, and instead you put them in some index following the SP 500 index or the Wall Street, New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street, or even the fucking DAX in Germany, right?
No.
And you leave that $1 million there, and you don't fucking touch it for 4 decades when you're going on retirement, or 3 decades. Then you will still have multiplied that million by many. Then you will still have multiplied that million and have been cashing out like $3-4 million at the end of it, right?
Yeah, but then again, like what good is money that doesn't spend? Actually, money that doesn't spend and is lying in a bank account, in a Swiss bank account, or in the Caymans. That is hurtful for anyone. Like,
of course,
because it is not being spent. You don't get any resources out of it, and you might even end up losing, and like society and the economy as a whole will not get anything out of it, because there's no resources being produced for that money.
The idea with it, the idea behind it is that only that, you know, that if you invested $1 million in Apple in 1980 and you cashed out those stocks now, compared to if you were to like having invested in an index fund in 1980 and cashing them out now, it would be the same.
Because at any point in my life, if you came to me and asked me, what do you want? What do you rather want, Troy? 3 million now, or 30,000 paid out every month for 10 years? Then I would take the 30,000 paid out every month for 10 years, because it is better to have a consistent monthly revenue stream rather than having the big thing, because you can't, as individuals, we can't control this large sums of money. I mean, the best examples are Mike Tyson.
I know, and this. Yeah. And this is what I like try to explain. Like it will eventually flatten out, like the curve always does, and it will be like on a consistent rise, like 10-15% or something a year, right? That's how the stock market functions. This was, by the way, like some fund investing in tech shit, like Apple, Google, all right, all that shit. Yeah. But like eventually it flattens out, because like no company ever continues to beat the stock market. No, nothing is that powerful to beat like the stock exchange.
No, not even. I mean, that would mean that the company has a monopoly on everything, and a monopoly is completely bad. Like monopoly is essentially a very extreme form of an economy, and if there's I know two things in this world. One thing is that everything needs to be in balance, and everything will balance out at the end of the day. And number two is that extremism, fanaticism, and radicalization always leads to chaos and nothing good. Nothing good ever comes out.
Chaos and destruction.
Nothing good ever comes out of radical, spontaneous, erratic movements. At least there's no peaceful resolution in these situations. Like, you may have something good happening after years of revolution, as history suggests to us, but you will never have a peaceful transition if you have these extremists or fanaticists.
No, of course not. Of course not. And like I try to explain this, constraint and how it really works, but won't fucking listen. Probably like being too high on himself or shit. Anyways, we're like we're almost around hours. We're gonna move a little bit on.
We're on 34 minutes, but I would still like to end it here. So
yeah, I'll just like say some more shit. So then we like talked about, why I might want to like go back to my old job at the warehouse working as a temp, and why I want to like make a call and then maybe eventually take a fucking fisherman education to go out on the Bering Strait.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Tell us.
and that is, like because the job that I have now, I have been really fucking unlucky, man, and I've gotten into a work environment with a bunch of fucking alphas, you know. I like, yeah, with alphas, like like I talked with you like briefly about this before the vacation, where like essentially it is dogs in the house,
Yeah, I know the type.
where and then I'm like sitting at this like fucking expectation and bullshit conversation, which is like, we want you to roar higher like a lion, show you're a part of the pack. We want you to be more loud and blah blah blah, right?
Wow,
And then,
that's the kind of environment that I. That's the last type of environment I would want to
uh,
be in. To be honest, like.
and then this. Also, we noticed that you put the two pallets in the wrong lane of those 5,000 pallets you have been placing. Like,
Wow.
oh my god, that's not fucking acceptable and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna type down here, Patrick, that you're like still making beginners mistakes after 3 months. Uh,
Wow.
and
Shit.
and also at some point, like it seems like you don't care to listen. So I'm also going to put down the motherfucking problems with the language.
What?
Uh, yeah.
Problems with your language. Like, what? Are you swear? Are you
Yeah.
swearing?
No,
What the
no,
fuck?
like
Why the fuck
like
does?
no,
Why
like
would you
no, like
write it then?
language, like communication errors or whatever the fuck, right? You will
Oh
call it.
my
You know,
god, Jesus.
and at this time, he's like, well, sitting in front of our boss, so I'm not saying anything, and he's not saying anything, right? Then later in the day, we're like still sitting in the office, and then all of a sudden, like then there's like this icy motherfucking feeling in the room, right? Because of course I'm thinking over, should I go over there now and just fucking bash his brains out and take 20 in prison? Right? Of course, I don't do this, and he notices the mood, and he says, "I hope there's not any bad feelings between us, Patrick."
Damn. I don't know, man. It just that kind of environment doesn't sound like too healthy environment for me. So yeah,
No,
if I were you,
no,
I would also try to like slowly ease your way
no, man.
in like out of that and into something else. Because like, why slowly ease? Because like if it gets too fast and too dramatic, something bad might happen that you are not able to cope with. So yeah, I would try to like slowly ease out of it.
If I can get that job back at that other warehouse and I can start not this Monday but next Monday, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say, like I feel like I feel like it's a bad fit here for me. And if you guys obviously can't handle, like the few errors of the margin, less than 0.1% margin of error, then fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat that, and I'm also going to say that, that I got away from the office culture that I was in to try and get away from exactly this culture. A bunch of motherfucking alpha packs trying to be boss, right? And
Yeah.
it's a culture that I had expected to, like see anywhere else than a warehouse, because it has no place in a warehouse. And I'm gonna round, and like here's a golden nugget for all you guys. If you ever find yourself in a warehouse and you're happy, don't fucking leave, because in a warehouse where you're happy is a place where you're all motherfucking misfits, but you all can cope together, and there is nobody hassling anybody as long as you get your job done. and
Yeah,
that's
and
what I work
these
in, and that's what.
and these alpha dogs
Yeah,
are
yeah.
probably happy
You
with each other, but when there's like a beta coming, who's not coping with their ways, then they bash on this too much.
yeah, yeah, and I guess I'm a beta. I'm not an alpha because I'm not going to like when people come to me and like say, "Hey man, you fucking Norwegian, you're gay."
But then
When
again, that doesn't have anything to do with alpha or beta. That just has something to do with nationality
yeah, no, no,
and
no, no,
language
no,
barriers. Like
no,
that's
no, 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 no,
a whole other
no,
problem.
no, 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 no. It is not. It's not. It's not just that. Like it's all the other. It's all the other kind of. It's how they would treat anybody. It's how they would treat you if you start there. They would yell at you, "Hey, fucking,"
Oh my
some
god.
shit like that, right? And like, and that is like to elevate themselves over you, show them like that they're alpha position and somehow, right? Um, so now I know that, but still, like my response back is not to yell, right? My response back is
Yeah.
simply ignoring, and then maybe I flip my fucking finger or something, right? But I just fucking ignore. But usually I just fucking ignore it because I don't give a shit. I don't feel the need to motherfucking yell, right?
Yeah, exactly, and like
Hey,
that's also my philosophy. But we gotta seriously like end it now because we're sneaking up on 45 minutes.
that's fine. That's fine.
So
Let's just push it a little bit longer.
nah. I want to
Um,
end it here because
all right. Thank y'all for watching. And feel free again to contact me for a podcast in anyone in the near future. Don't need to be visual; can only be audio like this. And I strongly appreciate it if you reach out in the comments and ask about that because this channel has been pretty dead for the last couple of days. For the last week, it's been completely flat, no views. And I just don't understand what we're doing is wrong because I
well,
feel like what we're
that's not surprising considering that we haven't uploaded anything for 3 weeks. So
I know that, but still, like I wish that people, would continue to watch our material or listen to our material.
yeah, well,
So
people
this,
are like, I don't think people are watching anyway. Like people are listening, and so people might just download them. Actually, I don't know actually now.
let's see, man. I'm not going to commercialize or add, put a bunch of like links to this podcast up. I'm just going to see how interesting it is for people to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how we should
Uh,
do it.
yeah. So yeah, thank you all.